Hey everyone, welcome to the Free League update for February 2021. This is our monthly show where we update you on all things Free League publishing. We're going to go over new releases, we're going to give you updates on Kickstarters, and we're going to talk about maybe some future plans that Free League has in the works. Before we begin, I would ask that if you are a fan of all things Free League publishing, please hit that like button down below, and also share this video with other folks that you know that are also excited with all the things that we put out and publish. And also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and that little bell notification that'll let you know every single time that we go live or upload new content. We really appreciate our YouTube community here. We're at 4,600 subscribers. That's amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so incredibly impressed by the amount of growth that we've had on this platform, and we'd love to share as much information as we can about Free League publishing with you all. Now, without further ado, let me bring on my co-host, the Mr. Year Zero Engine himself, the CEO of Free League Publishing, Tomas Härenstam. Thomas.
Hello, hi.
Thank you.
How are you?
Hello. Thank you so much for giving your time. You're little busy right now with a Kickstarter, probably hitting refresh every so often.
Yeah.
We're congratulations on the One Ring Kickstarter. That's incredible. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. But thank you so much for giving your time. Let's get right to it. February 16th saw the release of Treasure Hunts in Devakar, the Symbaroum starter set that is available and out now. I did a little unboxing video on our channel, so if you haven't checked that out, please go back and check that out. This is a great product. There's a lot of content in there for the price. The quality of the items are just top notch, and it's a great way to get folks started playing Symbaroum. Also, I will tell you that there's some content in there that if you are an existing Symbaroum player, you might want to pick it up. Thomas, Symbaroum starter set, how's that going? Is that flying out of the web store at this point?
Yeah, it's. I think so. It's great to see it finally out there. I'm actually still waiting for a copy of my own. I've only seen like a prototype thing, so I actually don't have the box. So I mean, I know some others are luckier than me, but I've got a notification that it's on the way, so I'm going to go pick it up from someplace in the next couple of days. Okay. So I'm also looking forward to actually having it in my hands, but it's looking good.
Nice. And I'll remind folks that if this is a product that you would like to pick up, you can pick it up from our web store, or also tell your friendly local game store to stock it, because that's also, we want to make sure that everyone can see our products that we make. And this starter set, I'm going to tell you right now, I've been a fan of the previous starter sets. This starter set is right up there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's good, really good content. It's not it has, or also of course it's a starter set. It's to entice new players to try out the game, but it also does have original new content. So that I think you'd be it's certainly worthwhile to check it out, even if you were already playing the game.
Absolutely. And then I have a feeling that this is just the first Symbaroum product that we'll probably see in 2021, maybe?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we're actually doing quite a bit of Symbaroum stuff coming up. I mean, I think none of them are total news, but I think there might be semi-news. Mm-hmm. Maybe we will make proper announcements later, and maybe Matthias will be angry with me now because I'll be revealing too much, but I figured I might as well mention a couple of things that we are doing on Symbaroum in the next months or so. And one of them is that next installment in the Chronicle of the Throne of Thorns campaign. Of course, the Mother of Darkness was in installment 4, and now I know that Matthias is very hard at work finishing up installment number 5. So there will be more news on that in the next couple of weeks or months, maybe, but definitely fairly soon now during the early or mid-spring, there will be news on that front.
If you would like to see a session with Matthias and all the Symbaroum team, let me know in the comments, and we can make that happen. I think Matthias is chomping at the bit to kind of spoil a little bit of the Symbaroum plans for 2021. So I'd be glad to showcase that a little bit for him.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, we saw a release of 2 virtual tabletop releases. This would be the virtual tabletop module for Alien on Foundry. This is an official release. It is available in our web store. I will bring that up right now, actually, while we are looking at it. It's actually at a introductory price, I believe, right? You said that. That's the Forbidden Lands one. The Forbidden Lands was also launched on Foundry. As you can see from the screen, the price is reduced dramatically, quite for this initial launch for both Forbidden Lands and for Alien. Let's see. So we're very excited about this. This is definitely an area that Free League is trying to commit a lot of resources to, and because we know right now 2020 and 2021, that's the primary way a lot of folks are gaming at this point. So do you want to talk a little bit about those platforms and those products?
Yeah, I mean, we did a number of releases on virtual tabletops last year. Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds. We have Alien out in both of those, and we have Vezin we have and Tales from the Loop also. So we have a number of products out, and we're trying to get more of them done as well to be able to offer the games on a variety of virtual tabletops. I think the thing that's a little bit different about this one is that for reasons, we can actually offer this one through our own website, which is in a sense, I guess, more convenient. You can have it at the same place as our printed games, and we also have these bundles where you get the printed one and the virtual tabletop edition together in the same bundle, because we don't want people to feel the need to choose between VTT or print. We think that you probably want to have both, because you might want to have, even if you play online, you'll probably want to have the books and the physical stuff for reading up before and using while you're actually. I mean, I think can be very useful to have both, and that's why we have these bundles, and it's also why we have this very low introductory price for the Foundry modules, because we feel that maybe many people already have the physical games and books, so we want to give that crowd a chance to try out the Foundry version and the virtual tabletop edition, and not have to sort of spend a lot of extra money on it. At least for a period of time now, we'll have this very low introductory price so everyone can get a chance to try it out.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I know a lot of folks are really pleased with Foundry, and they've as soon as it was announced, folks were very excited. You could see it on the social media. And I'll remind folks that if you're not following Free League Publishing on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, feel free to hit put the links down below. Follow them, because this was a really big announcement that a lot of folks were really excited about. Let's see here. The other thing that we have available right now is a product that the folks are kind of chomping at the bit for more information on, and that is the Alien Colonial Marines Operations Manual. I'll tell you folks that this is still available for pre-order. If you have not already pre-ordered it, you can still get the our PDF book that you get as a perk for pre-ordering it. And I know folks are kind of interested in more Free League information on the Colonial Marines Operations Manual. Tomas, can you share a little bit more information about that?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, it's like, I think you might already know, we have a slight delay on this book. It's the project has grown. It's a lot of work, and it turns out we were a bit too optimistic in our planning. So the original March release is just going to be too tight. So right now we're looking at late April, probably Alien Day, which is toward the end of April. So that's what we're aiming for at the moment. So the book is just about done and going to print. But we are still in the final stages of finalizing everything. But things take a little bit of time. But I do believe you'll find it worth it. Find it worth the wait in the end, because it's at least to my mind, coming together really well, both in terms of, I mean, the art, but also so much content, story. I mean, if you're curious in the least about the colonial marines in the alien universe, but also just the world as a whole, to explore this universe and see what the Alien RPG can do in terms of campaign play, not just these short cinematics, then I think this book will definitely be a great thing to have. Yeah, hopefully everyone will feel it's worth waiting for.
Excellent, excellent. Any kind of estimate as to when the PDF will be available? I know there were some folks that were asking about that. And,
Yeah,
I hate to kind of put you on the spot, but I know I wouldn't be doing my job if I wasn't asking the questions that the communities have.
No, absolutely, no problem at all. No, I mean, I won't give it because it's not only up under our control. Like I'm sure you know, this is a licensed game. That means that it's not only we, but it's also our licensing partners need to approve and check everything to make sure it's up to par and is in line with the so it's, which I think everybody wants. This is part of a larger universe, and everything needs to be right, and that process is also something we have to consider. So it's what I can say, it's probably going to be a couple of more weeks before we can share a PDF, but it shouldn't be more than that.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Let's. I will also remind folks that you can still late pledge for the Tales from the Loop, the board game, if you are interested in that and you weren't able to pledge for it during the Kickstarter. It is available. I put the link in the description. Actually, there's links for all the things that we were talking about today in the description of this video. So feel free to check that out to get your pledges in. I'm not quite sure when the pledge manager is closing for that, Thomas, but I would assume it's probably coming up fairly soon.
Yeah, it's a good thing you brought it up because we're running close to the wire. I believe it's the 28th of February, so just a couple of days away. So that's that time to make. If you haven't kickstarted it, or if you want to be in on the Kickstarter, you can still do so, but just for another 4 or 5 days. After that, backers will still be able to update addresses and things like that, but you will not be able to make a late pledge any longer. And the reason that we're closing the pledge manager now is that we know we're right now sending all of the files for everything to the factory, and we need to know how many of each thing to produce and so on, and that's why we need to lock this down now. And that's specifically for we had the deluxe version, because the normal version will be available later, but this deluxe version, which has the pre-painted miniatures, and the normal version, the miniatures will be unpainted, which is like normal, but then you have the deluxe version with pre-painted miniatures. And if you want those, this Kickstarter and the pledge manager for late pledges now is actually most likely the last chance to get a hold of those. If we get any left over, we might be able to offer some more later. But really, if you want to be sure to get those with the pre-painted miniatures, this is really the last chance.
Nice, excellent. Let's. One other thing that I will remind folks is that the Labyrinth, the narrative art book from Simon Stauenhag is available through late pledges. There's a link for that in the description. I don't think that there's very much quantity, so if you have not picked this up, you should probably pick it up really quickly if you want to add a copy to your Simon library. That I know I love adding more and more books to mine. So can you tell us how long that's going to be available? I was under the assumption that there was a very limited supply of these books.
That's right. The reason it's still, I mean, for that book, we did the Kickstarter and we have shipped the book out to most backers already. There might be one or two that have yet to receive it, but in general, it should be all out there. But we still offer late pledges because we do have a limited amount of books left. The way this works is that for this one, we're not the only publisher. So it's going to be available in general retail later, but that might take some time, and it will not be through Free League. It will be by another publisher. And that might be sometime later. So that means if you get it fairly soon. This is when we have a limited amount left. It's probably a good idea to get in on it now. Otherwise, of course, you can pick it up later retail, but that could be in a number of months ahead. I'm not sure about the timing for that.
Plus, if folks late pledge and pick up a copy through our site, they also get the art prints as well from the Kickstarter.
That's right.
Or bonus perks. Yep.
Yeah, you get the full everything that was offered through the Kickstarter. You get if you do a late pledge. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. February 1st saw the closing of the pledge manager for Twilight 2000, a very highly anticipated RPG that's coming from Free League later on this year. I figured while we were on, we'll just see what Tomas can give us for a update on Twilight 2000.
Right. I mean, personally, apart from the Alien book, I'm hard at work at the moment on the beta PDF of Twilight 2000. We've never done this before, but normally we do an alpha PDF, and then we send it out to backers. We get feedback, and then we incorporate that into the final product, and then it goes to print. This time, because there was so much feedback, we figured it's probably a good idea to actually do another PDF that will actually share with backers to get a second round of feedback on before we actually go to print. So hopefully that beta PDF will be, also in a couple of weeks. I'm right now going through it's not going to be massive changes. There's going to be many small changes, a few a little bit more significant. And there is some content that was not part of the alpha that will be adding in the beta. So there's definitely going to be new things to check out. So in a number of weeks, or at least within the month, we should have the beta out for everyone to have a look at.
Excellent. And then last but not least, let's just bring it up because it's pretty much taken over everything these last few weeks. We do have the Kickstarter for the One Ring on Kickstarter right now. It is the highest, and you can see it's going up as we're live. Highest funded Kickstarter in Free League history. It's still going. It has 8 more days left to go. So if you have not already picked this up or pledged for this, definitely do that, because this is going to be the only way you can pick up the collector's edition.
Yes.
This is a really beautiful book that I know a lot of folks are very excited about. With the and there's going to be some other information and other products that you are announcing. What can you tell us a little bit? Just I know that you're kind of just the person pushing this out, and of course Francesco and Martin are kind of the two main folks behind this. But can you speak a little bit about the One Ring Kickstarter?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Like you said, it's probably if for detailed questions regarding game design and so on, it's better to ask Francesco or Martin for that matter. But I can definitely speak to the kind of campaign or project as a whole. So I mean, we're in the middle of the Kickstarter, and it's gone really well. I be honest and say we have struggled a little bit to come up with more stretch goals. I cannot say at this point whether we'll have more or whether we'll stop. It's a tricky balance, because you might get the idea that since we're it's still getting more and more backers, we can just add more and more stuff. But it doesn't really work that way, because everything we do add still has to be done, and it has to be included. So whatever we do needs to be, if we add more content to the core game, that needs to be written and proofread, illustrated. It needs layout. So everything can have knock-on effects and delay the production, which we really don't want to do, because we don't want to overreach, so that will delay everything. And it's also so it's a fine balance between what we want to do and what we want to add that will not in any way jeopardize the production of the game, to get it done and out and complete. So that's the balance we're trying to strike. So that's why we had learned our lesson from like the early days and the very early Kickstarters that we did, when we were a little bit too optimistic. Like, it's actually the case that the very first Kickstarter for the Swedish edition of Coriolis, we did that in 2015. And I'll be honest to say there is still one stretch goal that still remains to be delivered, and that was 6 years ago. And that's not a good situation. That's actually a PDF cookbook that Costa. I don't know if you
Yeah,
met Costa. One of the.
yeah, I've
It's
heard
on
about this
here.
cookbook.
We always may give him pain about the cookbook for Coriolis. That just it's still not done, and I know it's So you don't want to be in a situation like that. You want to make sure we can actually do what we have promised in the time frame that we
Sure.
have committed to. So that's why we're not just adding more and more stuff to the Kickstarter for the One Ring. And we do feel what you're getting now for what we're offering now is still a pretty good deal. I mean, you're getting good
Absolutely.
stuff for your money, I think. So I don't think it really needs more at this point.
I mean, you have 10,000 backers, I think, at this point. Over 10,000 backers for this campaign. That's just incredible. Like, so you know that if folks have pledged that many folks have pledged, then they know that they've seen the value there. Oh, I think Thomas is frozen up on me a little bit. So yeah, let me while Thomas reconnects, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. We've got a little bit of time left over. We'll be glad to try to answer them if possible. Thank you everyone for joining us. Let me see here. The Dark Orb says Mr. Hanstam is looking super suave today. He does. He's got that nice vest on. It's quite snazzy. I like it. I like it. Let's see here. Eric asks, I really wish we could just buy Chariot of the Gods by itself and not with the starter set. That's a good question. I know it was available previously before as a standalone product. I don't think that. I think you still might be able to find it secondary, but on the secondary market. But as far as Free League going forward, it is going to be a part of the starter set. Yeah, if you search, you might be able to find just copies of Chariot of the Gods all by itself. Randy says, just purchase Foundry virtual tabletop items. Thank you so much for the discount. It makes for a much easier pill to swallow. Thank you, Randy. Yeah, I'm so glad that folks are being able to jump on that discount early on. I know like I said, this is something that Free League really wants to kind of focus on going forward because of the fact that the situations the way they are. It's definitely become a more prevalent part of the industry and hobby than it was before 2020. Dan says, there are too many Free League products I am looking forward to and have spent on. Yeah, I can understand that. Absolutely. It says, I had a feeling at the end of February, Colonial Marines Operations Manual PDF rumors are too optimistic. I have absolutely no doubt it'll be awesome when it lands. Yes, that's the one thing that I will give Free League credit for is that they definitely wait until something is really nice in order to send it out there to backers. And knowing how Drew likes to write, Drew Gaska, who is the writer of the core rulebook and Chariot of the Gods and the Colonial Marines Operations Manual and Destroyer of Worlds, he likes to write, and it doesn't surprise me that this release is a little bit bigger than they anticipated. Hoax says, are miniatures going to be a thing for the One Ring as well? Hoax, no, they will not. That's actually licensed to another company, so that is not an option. Todan says, isn't the alpha already a beta then? Maybe. Titan Sale says, Thomas always looks awesome, to be honest. He does. He always looks very, very dapper. Just wanted to know, is there a possible time when the beta for Twilight 2000 is ready? I wanted to write an article about it. Should I just wait till the final release? I would, I mean, if it were me, the beta should give you the majority of the file for that's going to go to print. There still might be some changes later on down the line as far as grammar and maybe some other structure. But yeah, I mean, it should give you a pretty good feel for what the what Twilight 2000 is. Marcus asks, are there any plans for a series of Alien RPG module scenarios? I know that there are some plans for that, but I know Drew has quite a bit in his planned in his mind for this RPG. So I would say yes at this point, but let's bring Tomas back on. Tomas,
Hey, something happened. I think
that's all right.
The internet went down, so I'm plugging in through my phone now. Let's see if that works.
That's fine.
Okay.
It was about 5 minutes of just everyone complimenting you on your clothing and your apparel today. And how you
I have a
looks good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
just sometimes in lockdown and things, you need to do something to make not every day stays exactly the same.
Absolutely. So going back to Marcus's question, are there plans for a series of RPG modules / scenarios?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are doing after this, this is the first campaign book that we're doing now, and we're doing more of those. And after this campaign book, there's going to be a third cinematic scenario. You had Chariot of the Gods and then Destroyer of Worlds, and now a third one coming up.
Oh, nice.
It's the next one. I won't give details or dates on that because it's too early, but definitely this year that should be coming out. And we kind of try to tie those together, so you will get, like we did the Destroyer, which was also focused on Colonial Marines. And now you have the campaign book for Colonial Marines. And the next wave will also have like one cinematic and one campaign book. And the idea for that one is to focus on the colonists and explorers to kind of go to the far reaches of space. So that's kind of the general idea of where we're going with these alien modules.
Excellent. Speaking of the alien modules, Eric actually brought up the question that he was wondering if Chariot of the Gods for Foundry could be purchased without buying the starter set.
Right. I believe at the moment those two are connected.
Correct.
The reason for that, I know it's not the same on all platforms. Like I think on Roll20 you can get only Chariot, but the reason it looks the way it does is that we want to have kind of offer the same products in print and on the VTT, so you can make a bundle with both, and it's kind of clear and simple. You can see exactly the same. And right at the moment, don't have Chariot of the Gods as a separate thing anymore. It's part of the starter set, so that's why it's the same on the virtual tabletop platform. I'm not saying it's always going to be like that, maybe, but at the moment, that's kind of how it looks. So for the short answer in the short term is no, but maybe in the future we'll see.
Sure. Let's see here. I know Titan Tales asked a question as far as the beta PDF. They wanted to write an article about it. They were wondering if they should just wait until the final release or wait until the beta PDF gets released to backers.
For which one was this?
This was for Twilight 2000. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they want to write an article. They can do that, whenever they want. If they want to write it on the beta, that's fine. Of course, there can be some changes after the beta, but it's probably going to be fairly complete and close to the final product. But I would say whatever works for them is fine.
Sure. Let's see here. Lionheart231 asks, could we get the One Ring Alpha PDF as an add-on for the PDF only tier? You get that anyway, right? Is the alpha? Is there going to be an alpha PDF for the backers of the One Ring?
Yeah, that's the plan. We are doing an alpha PDF to be shared with backers. In the plan, as it's currently, we'll have that done by the summer, sometime in the middle of summer. And yes, if you are a PDF backer, you will be getting the alpha PDF as well. So yeah, that should be not a problem.
Cool. Robert Coleman 4, I should say, asks, will we be able to use the pledge manager to add individual Free League items to our one ring pledge? For example, I need Forbidden Land dice sets, and I cannot get them at a fair price in the US.
Ouch. Yeah. At the moment, we are only offering the core games as add-ons in the Pledge Manager. And the reason for that is that otherwise it gets very complicated, because every Pledge Manager is kind of like a small web shop. And if we have every game in every Pledge Manager, it soon becomes very hard to manage. It just gets very complicated. So normally, we of course we do offer the full range of products in our own web shop, and we do ship to the US and everywhere. Of course, it can take a little bit of time to ship things around, and they should also be available in the US. I know that it takes, I mean, sometimes we run out of stock, which is, we try to get things over. There is a refill coming soon if it hasn't already arrived to our US warehouse, and it should be available. So, I mean, if you ask your retail store about it, they should be able to get it. I know it's sometimes not that easy, and it's, especially at these times, transports and things have been hard to manage, and so it can be hard some places sometimes to get a hold of things, but I do think it can be worthwhile to ask local game stores to talk to their distributors and ask them to get our games, because in theory it should be available anywhere, everywhere. So it's definitely possible.
Sure. Titan Tail says, if there's ever an Indiana Jones type games, I want Thomas on the cover.
Okay. We'll see what we can do about that one.
Yeah. The other thing that I'll mention is that with the Symbaroum starter set, I meant to bring this up when we were talking about that a little bit. This has a new stat block layout for NPCs and monsters that is the new norm going forward. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? If folks are familiar with the Symbaroum, this is another reason why you should probably pick it up, because it's really great to see how you've kind of changed the format for Symbaroum to take these new formats.
Yeah, I mean, Symbaroum is not a game that I work on the design side personally, but I know Matthias, and they have been definitely evolving things and improving stuff like that, and I know that they're trying some new things for the starter set and are making changes. So it's that's good to hear that that's being noted and appreciated. So yeah, definitely it might be another reason to check out the starter set.
Peter also asks, when will add-ons to the One Ring Kickstarter pledges that already exist, like Symbaroum, Core Book, etc., ship? Immediately after the Kickstarter, or together with the Kickstarter products in November once those are ready?
Right. The general principle here is that everything ships together, and we ship once. Otherwise, you get split shipping, and that gets very complicated and expensive. So the general principle is that these are added, the add-ons, they will go out with the rest of your rewards at one point. So if you want something sooner than that, I think the best place to look is in our web shop or in retail stores. So that's but if you feel you can wait, you can you add it as an add-on in the Kickstarter. But we're not doing split shipping for this campaign.
Okay.
Just because it generally turns out to be very complicated and not really a good experience for anyone. So we're sticking to one wave of shipping for this one.
I mean, and if folks wanted to, they can just go to the web store and purchase it, and then that way they don't have to wait. And it's much easier for everyone in the long run. Fabian says, "Hey guys, just want to say I love your products."
Thank you. Great to hear.
Absolutely. I think I've got most of the questions and comments that we can answer on this session. Is there anything you'd like to say to folks, especially folks that are backing the Kickstarter, the One Ring Kickstarter, and that we have a lot of stuff coming out every month now. It seems it's pretty amazing to watch Freely grow into this bigger publisher that you know, when I first became a fan before I started doing all this, it was just neat to see you release one thing every few months, and now it's like we're having multiple products every month, which is just awesome. Is there anything you'd like to tell folks before we maybe close out?
No, I mean, I think you covered pretty much everything. No, it's been fantastic to see this, and I mean, especially in a year like the one we've had in the last year. Just not, I mean, it was really, you know, uncertain times for everyone, and for us also, and just to see that continued, you know, support and appreciation for what we do, and that we can continue to do it. It's just been fantastic, and I can't wait to go to conventions again and see see all of, you know, fans again, see you again, Doug, and just meet people in the flesh. I mean, and hopefully we can do that, you know, in the not too distant future. But so that's what I'm looking forward to.
There was one question I totally forgot, and I apologize. Games from the Front, thank you so much for bringing it up, because I had written it down. I totally forgot that I have it over here on the side.
Shoot.
Mountains of Madness Volume 2.
Right.
Folks have been asking about any plans for Volume 2.
Oh yeah, definitely. We are starting work on that now. I won't give you a release date because it's actually up for some discussions at the moment, exactly when we'll be releasing it, but it's definitely being this year. And yeah, probably won't be more specific than that, but yeah, so it's coming, and it's definitely this year.
Excellent. Yeah, I threw a post on the YouTube feed and said, hey, if anybody has any questions, let me know. I'll try to ask Thomas. That was one of them, and I wrote it down. Totally forgot that I have it here written down. It's kind of away from my other notes. So thank you so much to everyone that appreciates everything that we do. Thank you for being a part of our YouTube community. 4,600. We just passed, like, we got 100 subscribers within the last 3 days. It's been crazy. So thank you so much to everyone that joins us and that supports this channel, supports all the projects we put out. It's greatly appreciated. Everyone, be safe, be well. Thomas, thank you so much for giving your time. I know you're a busy man. We'll see you all next month for the update, and stay tuned. We've got more One Ring content planned before the Kickstarter ends. In fact, we might even have a stream during the last hour of the Kickstarter, so be on the lookout for that. Bye now.